Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to BYJU'S exam prep. आज कैसे हो सब लोग? How is your day going on? How is your preparation going on? I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone watching me live. Good evening. Good evening everyone. I hope everyone can hear and see me clearly, and we are going to be commencing with our session today on SLAT 100 most expected questions on logical reasoning. This session is also important for people who are targeting other law entrance exams. So if you are trying to appear for MHCT, JMILLB or SLAT or LSAT maybe or CUET, the session is specifically for you. We're going to be solving some logical reasoning questions today that are very likely to be asked in other law entrance exams, specifically SLAT. So stick with me till the end of the class, everybody. What are we going to be doing today? We're of course going to be solving questions for SLAT and other law entrance exams. The topic that I'm going to be taking today is going to be assumptions and conclusions, predominantly assumptions today. So we get this kind of questions a lot of times in almost every examination. In fact, CLAT और AILT में भी assumption based questions बहुत सारे आते हैं. Although one liner based nahi aate, they have paragraph based. But since SLAT and other law entrance exams have one liner based questions on assumptions, we're going to be doing them today. So buckle up. Before we begin with this session, two things as a reminder for you. If you still haven't enrolled yourself into any of our programs, we have two programs currently running. One is for CLAT 2025 and the other is for other law entrance tests. If you haven't enrolled yourself in any of our programs and if you wish to see what we have to offer, आप जल्दी से अपने फोन नंबर के साथ रजिस्टर कीजिए हमारे ऐप में and you can access everything for free for the next 3 days. We have a 3-day free trial going on for you. जल्दी से रजिस्टर करो आज ही and access all the classes, all the mock tests, all the test series, recorded videos, everything as a student of our batch for free. Two, alternatively, if you have any doubts in your mind, आपके मन में कोई भी questions है हमारे programs को लेके, अपने career को लेके, CLAT preparation को लेके, we have an expert team of counselors जो आपको free one-to-one counseling session देंगे. इसको avail करने के लिए मेरे वीडियो के नीचे एक link है, one-to-one counseling session. Hi Shweta Payoja, good evening. Click on the link, fill out your basic details, speak to our counselors. They're going to give you a call and get your doubts resolved. Your parents can also speak to them for free. Do that right away and see us in the batches very, very soon. Let us start a preparation with assumptions and conclusions. Okay. And while we are going to be majorly taking assumptions today, एक quick reminder लेते हैं, देखते हैं assumptions होता क्या है, ठीक है? Okay. तो assumptions क्या होता है? Assumption is an unsaid thing that the speaker, that the author believes to be true before a statement is given to you. एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको देती हूँ. एज ए टीचर अगर मैं आपसे बोलती हूँ कल assumption के 5 questions आप करके आएंगे, please solve 5 questions on assumptions. If I say this to you as a teacher, I am the speaker. So the assumption will be drawn from my perspective. Remember that. I am going to be making assumptions, not you as a reader, but I as a speaker. So you will have to put yourself in my shoes and then figure out what I must have assumed. In reality, my assumption may be wrong, but ultimately, I have to figure out the speaker's assumption, which has to be true in the speaker's head. And remember, it has to be true in the speaker's head. So, for example, if I say, do 5 questions on assumptions tomorrow, I will assume in my head that you're going to obey. I will assume in my head that you are capable of solving questions. I will assume in my head that you understand the language that I'm speaking in and you will follow the directions that I've given you. These are the things I've assumed in my head. Only then I have, and these are unsaid. I don't have to tell you कि तुम obey करोगे क्योंकि तुम मेरी language समझते हो इसीलिए तुम solve करोगे ये questions तुम्हें करने चाहिए solve. I haven't said all that. I've only asked you to solve 5 questions. But there are a few unsaid assumptions I've made in my mind before I blurted out this statement in front of you. That these statements are called assumptions. So you guys have a fair idea about what assumptions are, everybody? Shweta Payoja got a fair idea? Not a fair, maybe a bit of an idea about what assumptions are. We're going to be applying this concept to a few questions we solved today. and we'll try to get better with assumptions. In the next session, I'll be picking up more assumptions and conclusion questions so that we get even better with it. Okay, let's see the kind of errors we might make and we'll try to avoid them. Okay, so let's begin with the very first question today. Now, this is a statement. You have to find out behind the statement what assumption could be there. It could be both, or it could be anyone, or it could be neither of it as well. What, according to you, are the correct assumptions here? Give this a try. Good luck. Okay, Priya says B. All right. Only two. Okay. Let us figure it out. Okay. So the statement says films have become indispensable for the entertainment of people. When I say indispensable, what does that mean? Indispensable means it is needed, it is required, and you cannot live without it. It is a part and parcel of the life. You just can't skip it, is what indispensable means. So the statement says films have become indispensable for the entertainment of people. That means if you need entertainment, you need films. You cannot do without films. Okay. Now, A says films are the only media of entertainment. Possibly not. Possibly there could be other media of entertainment, but films have become indispensable out of the many. So we can't say films are the only media of entertainment, right? We can't say the first one is mandatory, incorrect. People enjoy films. Now, let's see. When we solve an assumption question, we follow a basic technique of negation. I'll explain what the technique is, and by following the negation method, 100% of the times you will get your correct answer. What a negation technique is? If this is a correct assumption, then if this is proven wrong, this will also be proven wrong because this statement relies on this assumption. So, a correct assumption, if proven wrong, will also prove my statement wrong, will also negate my question because my question relies on my correct assumption. It's my foundation. Assumption is the foundation of your statement. If people do not enjoy films, then can the speaker say films have become indispensable? Entertainment का quintessential element क्या होता है? Enjoyment. That means films are enjoyed by the people because if films were not enjoyable, they would have not become. इसमें not लगाया तो यहाँ भी not लग जाता है automatically और वो prove करता है that second is a correct assumption. If people do not enjoy films, films will not become an indispensable part of entertainment of people. It is a necessity for this to be true. That means my statement relies on the second one. Absolutely correct. Yes, Priya, Bhayoja, and Shweta, only and only two is the correct answer. Let's move to our next question. But before I proceed, did you hit the like button? Thank you if you've done that already. If you haven't done that, do that right now. Hannah? I have 5 people live. I need to have at least 5 likes. Thank you if you've done that already. Also, I hope you have subscribed to the channel. Question number 2 देखते हैं. B is the correct answer. To keep myself up to date, I always listen to, okay, this is 9 p.m. news on radio. A candidate tells the interview board. Assumptions? To keep myself up to date, I always listen to 9 p.m. news on radio. A candidate tells the interview board. Answers. जल्दी जल्दी बताइए. क्या है आंसर्स आपके? Neither. Okay, Payoja says neither. Others, neither. You guys are absolutely correct, Payoja and Priya. The answer is neither. Yes, Shweta, it's neither. Let's understand that. To keep myself up to date, I always listen to 10 p.m. news on radio. That means one thing for sure is that this candidate believes that this 10 p.m. news, 9 p.m. news on radio will keep him up to date. He believes into it. Agreed? ये उसका assumption है that this 9 p.m. news is capable of keeping him up to date. Only then he says, to keep myself up to date, I always listen to the 9 p.m. radio, news on radio. The candidate does not read newspaper. Maybe he does. Maybe he only reads the Bollywood part. Or maybe he reads it, but he thinks newspapers aren't enough to keep him up to date. So additionally, he listens to the 9 p.m. radio as well. Unnecessary. Not a compulsion that he does not read a newspaper. Two recent news are broadcasted only on radio. Again, recent news, yes, we're referring to because he wants to be up to date. But they may be broadcasted on other channels which are inaccessible to him. राइट हो सकता है एक ऐसी न्यूज़पेपर में रीसेंट न्यूज आती हो जो उसके फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट्स में नहीं आता हो, वो उसकी परचेसिंग कैपेबिलिटी से बाहर हो, या फिर उसके कंट्री में नहीं आता हो वो न्यूज़पेपर, या वो उसकी लोकेलिटी में नहीं आता हो न्यूज़पेपर. सो ही रिलाइज ऑन द न्यूज ऑन रेडियो. We can't say that recent news are broadcasted only on the radio. You know, these words only, rarely, or always, every time, they usually make statements wrong, usually, by the way. Okay, so both are incorrect assumptions. We will eliminate both of it. The correct answer is yes, only is an extreme word. We'll eliminate that. The correct answer is neither of it follows. Very good. Let's go to our next question then. Good job, guys. नेवर बिफोर सच ए ल्यूसिड बुक. अब देखो क्वेश्चन ही नेवर बोल दिया तो ऑप्शंस में नेवर हो सकता है, एक्सट्रीम वर्ड हो सकता है. कीप दैट इन माइंड. ओके, नेवर बिफोर सच ए ल्यूसिड बुक वाज अवेलेबल ऑन द टॉपिक. Answers. Only one. Okay. Payuja, others? Shweta, Priya, what's your answer? Never before. That means आज के पहले, before this time, such a lucid book was not available on this topic. That means when the statement was spoken, before this, a clearer book. Lucid means clarity in writing. Okay, so none of the books were available that were as clear as this book. That means at least one book was available before it. Only then you will be able to compare that this is a very lucid book, and before this, none of such lucidly written books were available. That means at least one book before this time must have been available, right? That tells me one is correct. Some other books, at least one, must be available on this topic. Only then you can compare. Okay, when I say India is the greatest country, there has to be at least one more country you can compare India to, and then you will say India is the greatest country. Okay, Now, second says you can write lucid books on very few topics. How do I know about other topics reading this statement? Can I? The statement says that this is a very lucid book on this topic. Does that mean other topics are easy or difficult, or books are there or not there about other topics? We cannot say anything about other topics. Okay, so the second one becomes incorrect. The correct answer is only one follows. Let's move on to our next question then. Good job. Very, very good. Here we go. In case of any difficulty about this case, you may contact our company's lawyer. Each company has a lawyer of its own. The company's lawyer is thoroughly briefed about this case. Okay. Tell me. What's your answer? Only two? All right, Priya. Only two, Payoja? Okay. Let's read the statement again. In case of any difficulty about this case, you may contact the company's lawyer. When I say you have to solve 5 questions on assumptions, I believe you're capable of doing it. When I say meet my lawyer, that means my lawyer is capable of doing it. When I say in case of any difficulty in solving assumptions, come and meet XYZ person. That means that person knows assumptions. He knows how to solve assumptions. If he did not know how to solve assumptions, I would not have recommended you to him. Right? Similarly here, when I say meet my lawyer, if you have any difficulty about this case, that means my lawyer knows about this case. If my lawyer did not know about this case, I would not recommend you to meet my lawyer. I would recommend you to meet some other person who knows thoroughly about the case. This is an essential element needed for this statement to be true. So second is correct for sure. Yes. But let's look at the first one. Each company has a lawyer of its own. Do you even know about other companies? We don't. We know about this company. This company has a lawyer. This company's lawyer is capable of understanding this case and explaining this case and answering to queries people have. But I don't know about other companies and their lawyers. So the first one becomes incorrect. We can't be sure about other companies. Thus, first will be eliminated. So the correct answer is only two follows. That's going to be B. Good job. Very, very good. All right. So let's move on. Let's look at our next question. Present day education is in shambles and the country is going to the dogs. A good education system is needed for the well-being of a nation, and good education alone is sufficient for the well-being of a nation. Only one? Okay, Priya. Okay, Shweta. All right, Payoja. इतना unanimous answers है आप लोगों के. I might have bought some difficult questions, but actually other law entrance exams do not give us very, very difficult questions. Yet I'll try to bring a little more difficult ones next time so that your brains are teased. The correct answer is going to be only one. Present day education is in shambles and the country is going to the dogs. If the present day education is shambles, leading to the country going to the dogs means leading the country to get on a very low state, in a pathetic state, is going to the dogs. That means education and the country state is linked. So good education system and the country's well-being are absolutely interlinked. That's what A says. So A will follow. If they're not linked, I wouldn't give the statement. That means my statement is dependent on the correctness of A. Second says a good education alone is sufficient. I might need 10 more things, I have 9 already, but education system is bad, so my country is going to the dogs. That means out of 10, I already have 9. That does not mean that good education alone is sufficient. Alone is actually an extreme word, right? So we can eliminate this option outrightly. So the correct answer is going to be only 1. Okay? Let's go to our next question then. Children are influenced more by their teachers nowadays. The children consider teachers as honest. And second, a large number of amount of children's time is spent in school. Can you please bring in questions based on syllogisms? Oh yes, absolutely. I ran a series in the app for the same, but next class I'm going to do that. Don't worry. You get a lot of syllogism based questions in every other law entrance exam. Apart from CLAT, in fact, AILT also gives you a lot of syllogism questions. So we're going to do that in the next class. Don't worry. Shweta, thoda tricky hai question. If I am influenced by my teacher may be convincing enough, or my teacher may have good managerial skill to convince me. Does that mean my teacher is honest? If I tell you, देखो आज अच्छे से पढ़ाई कर लोगे कल टॉफी दूंगी एक. I might not. I might motivate you. I might convince you. I might not in reality give you a toffee. First one is incorrect. It is not a compulsion that I consider my teacher to be honest, to believe, or to be influenced by my teacher. Influencing needs skills. My teacher has those skills. Anna? Yeah, don't worry, Payoja. It's highly scoring. Syllogisms are extremely scoring, and you will get 100% of them correct with the right technique. Half an hour theory, and you're good to go. Don't worry about that at all. Okay. The second one says a large amount of children's time is spent in school. Even if I spend 1 hour with the person, I may be influenced by that person. Even if I spend 10 minutes with a person, I may be influenced by that person. The amount of time spent with the person does not denote the capability the person holds to influence somebody. That means we cannot say that a large amount of children's time is spent in school. You may be using your GK if you mark the second one correct, which is not allowed in logical reasoning questions. GK should be 0. Thus, the correct answer is neither. Neither will follow. Okay, honesty not necessary to be a good influencer. Hey, kitna easy example देती हूँ. Politicians, citizens are influenced by politicians nowadays. Does that mean all politicians are honest or politicians are honest? Yeah, best example actually. No, you can't say that, right, Shraddha? You can't. Influencing needs other skills, certainly not honesty. So the correct answer is neither will follow. And that brings us towards the end of our class. I hope you had a fun learning session. But before you leave, you better hit the like button and pay me my Guru Dakshina. 2. A quick reminder to you, for CLAT 2025 aspirants, we have a free workshop happening where Abhimanyu sir is going to be speaking of why choose law as a career option. March 24th, 6 p.m. Attend this live. Don't miss out on that. And our scholarship test happens on 31st March, 11 a.m. Sit for the scholarship test, win thousands of scholarship. Don't miss out on that as well. Our new batch for other law entrance exams, our test series for other law entrance exams, and our new batch for CLAT 2025 is live already. You wish to speak to the counselors, you have any doubts in your mind? Speak to the counselors by filling out your free one-to-one counseling form that's there under my video in the description box. Click on the link, fill out your basic details, and speak to our counselors for free. Make sure you make the most of it, and make sure you follow us on all the social media handles, and our app on Google Play is there with you. That's going to be all for today, everybody. Have a very good day. God bless you.